they came from Mesopotamia, and they traveled to Greece around 300 BC. So 300 years before Christ, they arrived in Rome as the cult of the Magna Mater. These were cross-dressing giants that would castrate themselves and throw their members onto a tree because they believed in the sacred fire that came from sexual energy that went up the spine to the top. And this is how that they would, one of the ways that they would create tantra and get themselves into the presence of this entity. And then you have the Druid, the priests of the Gauls. These were the main priests, the Druids were, and they helped bring the foundations of Greece and UK. Even some kings were associated with the Druids, and we still see some of this today. We have the Wales coat of arms, which has the red dragon, very much associated with this whole mythology. They come from the Fisher Kings, which are kings that are associated with Oannes and Dagon, and they claim to have lineage of this Nephilim order. And then you have many of them that were and are a member of the Order of the Dragon. And so the Order of the Dragon, they're a monarchy chivalric order, and they're only for selected higher aristocracy and monarchs. And they were founded in 1408 by Sigismund of Luxembourg, and he was the king of Hungary, and Hungary keeps coming up. But Hungary is where we find, according to Hungarians, their leaders, the children of Nimrod. And so that would only make sense that this Order of the Dragon would then proceed out of Hungary. We also find Attila the Hun, which is Hun, short for Hungarian, who is a personification of this mighty men that have come forth. He, like I said before, he subjugated the whole world. He was feared. His symbols were associated with the Anza bird. They all lived in shamanistic type yurts, and at the top they would have these rituals where fire would come forth, and they would partake in these shamanistic rituals themselves. And so we see the continuation of these bloodlines through that, as well as the continuation through England. We also see in America, which means land of the feathered serpent. Let me go back to this slide. I'm sorry, I don't think I showed it to you guys, but this was the slide. If I did, I apologize. I'll re-show it. Also in America, we see the land of the feathered serpent. We see this symbolism all over the place. Brian and David have done a lot of really good shows about the different mounds and stuff that you're going to see in North America, also South America. Very, very important information.
Can you just back up just a second, John, or something?
Yes,
just got to say.
We're right here.
This order, right there, the Order of the Dragon. Now, according to Lawrence Gardner, the mark of Cain, according to the Gnostics, is a circle with either a black or red cross. And he definitively connects this order here with the line of Cain. And there's also an Order of the Dragon. This, we're talking here about a chivalric order within England. There's also a Order of the Dragon, which Dracul or Dracula belonged to. And this symbolism, to their version of it, this is the mark of the Cain, and this is the mark of their lineage, according to Mr. Lawrence Gardner.
Yeah, and the four-pointed stars really associated a lot in the Anu Milish with these priests of this order. So you'll see the four-pointed stars just got one at the top, one at the bottom. And as always, we see that this cross symbolism is just rampant throughout all of history. We even have, it's interesting because Lugo Bando was actually associated with a solar eclipse, and we're having a solar eclipse that's making an X symbolism coming up here pretty soon. So interesting tie-ins. And also in Native American culture, you see the Thunderbird symbolism in American tribes, the totem pole, which the totem pole is the pure representation of this cosmic tree. There's different levels all the way up to the top where you have the feathered bird, the feathered eagle, the feathered serpent, the thunderbird at the top. And shamanism in many different cultures of Native Americans, I realize that there's like 600 different ones. So not all of them are created equal, but in many of them, this is the heart of their worship, shamanism, and the experience of attaining, reincarnation, or the experience of elevating their spirit to another level. Other countries that have their identification with the eagle, you see here. I mean, I'm not going to name them all, but almost every single dominant country in the world has a eagle of some sort associated with it. And then you have in California the Bohemian Grove, where Druid cult worships in front of a bird statue. And in the United States, this is where powerful leaders meet here. And they also meet very similarly to the Gali of the time. They meet and they cross-dress from what I hear. I've heard several stories of them doing some pretty gnarly rituals